What's up, my dudes? My name is Schrute, and this is a track review of 2015 Laguna, Caren, Chile. So, pretty cool beachy track right here, and you guys know if it's got that Hawaii Baja kind of vibe to it, I just have to check it out. So, this track right here is actually pretty easy overall, but it's definitely more of the beginner, amateurish kind of track. So, but it's still a lot of fun, even if you're a pro rider, because that's the thing about MX Simulator. Like, there's no limit to it, so no matter what kind of skill level you're on, you can still be faster and faster and get a faster lap time, and you can continue to try to get better and better at the game. That's why there's so many levels to the game. There's levels to these bezels, okay? You know what I'm saying, bro? And it's hard to see the levels to the game because they seem impossible. For instance, like an amateur rider's level seems impossible to a beginner rider at the game, and then a pro rider's level seems impossible to an amateur rider, and then somebody that's like top 3 in an RF main event seems impossible to just a beginner pro rider. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of gets to that point where you just got to not limit yourself at all. That's what I've noticed about this game. If you're really trying to get better at it, don't sit there and go, I can't, or that's impossible, or that's not going to happen. Man, I'm telling you right now, and I know everybody and their grandmother says this, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. It takes time, man. There's no secret little special just, oh, make you fast in a day, or everybody would do it. I promise you. That's why there's not a whole lot of fast people. I mean, there is to a certain degree, but there's not a whole lot of fast people that can finish up front in a pro RF main event. Like, there's only, you know, those top 3 people, and that's those top 3 people. And I mean, they're that fast and they're that good because they put the time in, man. They put the time in, and when I say they put the time in, I mean a lot of time. And that's the thing about it that a lot of people, I feel like they don't realize, and I'm kind of giving a Spencer Turley lesson right here, but it's one of those things that I've learned over time. Like, everything just starts to get more natural and easier, and the things that you used to think seem to be impossible, you all of a sudden just get, and then it happens, and that's the magic to it. That's the real magic to it, and it's not some kind of crazy setup or something. It's the real magic to it is when you put in just days and weeks and months into the game, and you want it bad, and you really put the time in to try to get faster and all that good stuff, and then before you know it, you wake up one day and nobody can touch you. So that's kind of what starts to happen. In that certain triple you couldn't hit out of the corner, it used to seem so impossible, but after you put 3 months into the game, then oh wow, that's so much easier, and I didn't even have a different setup, and what the heck, it's just my skill has gotten better. So I feel like a lot of people, they just can't ever get that in their head. They always think there's some kind of easy way out or easy way to get to the top, and they don't realize the people at the top, they work harder than anybody else, and that's what it is. And I know I'm just talking about a video game here, but it applies to everything in life, man. Like, it's all in how much time and hard work you want to put into it. It's no surprise, and this is the cool thing, the cool way I like to think about it is there's no surprise to why those people are the best. They put the most amount of time into it, and I promise you, if you put that time into it and you put that effort into it and you have that want for it and you have that passion for it, it'll happen, man. And the thing is, you got to put so much work into it that there's no other option than to be the best. And that's what you got to do if you want to be the best. And it's not going to be easy. Like, you got to think of it like it's going to be hard, and then it ends up being easy. But if you think it's going to be easy, then it's going to end up being hard. You see what I'm saying there? So if you just picture it in your mind, like, this is going to be hard, but I'm going to pound it out, I'm going to grind it out, and I'm going to get better at it, then it'll happen for you, man. And that's the cool thing about this game. It's just, and that's why so many people come back to the game and they continue to play it just like it's real life pro racing. And that's the cool thing, man, because there's just no limit to it. It's the speeds you can get on this game is unlimited. I mean, even if you're wide open in a corner, I mean, you could be a little bit limited on a 125 on certain tracks, but I mean, you could change the gearing quite a bit, and there's really no limit to it, to how fast you could hit the corner. And especially on a 450, man, there's no limit. I mean, really, to how fast you can enter a corner and how fast you can exit a corner, and certain being just perfect. And that's one thing you'll notice once you get to the pro level. It's not so much about how fast you are, because everybody's wide open everywhere. It's more so about the preciseness you can get as far as your jumps and stuff, and then that allows you to actually carry more speed when you hit a jump just absolutely perfect. You're not even barely off at all. You get to the point where you start to become like a perfectionist in the pro level, because everybody's just wide open, you know, so anybody can be wide open. Once you get to the pros, it's like, oh yeah, he's wide open, that's cool, whatever. And then once you get to the point where you got that kind of perfection level down, then it's getting to the point where you can run a full 15 or 20 lap main event and stay out of trouble and not have any little mistakes and keep it wide open the whole time. And that's hard to do no matter who you are and no matter how much time you put into the game. That's tough to do, man. And the cool thing is like, even if you get to a certain skill level, you still have to continue to put time into it to keep that skill level, or you're going to get rusty at it. So that's the cool thing. It's just like real life dirt bike riding, and I feel like everybody kind of has their prime days, and you have your guys that stand above everybody else because they want it worse than anybody else. So you got to want it bad, man, because it's not easy. This is not like being good at Call of Duty or being good at whatever. It's not like, oh, you can just put a little bit of time, and I mean, obviously those people that are good at Call of Duty put way too much time into it as well, but this kind of game, you got to put like just absolutely ridiculous amounts of time into it to even get to the point where you can even control the bike properly enough. And then there's that whole level of like actually being fast and precise and all that stuff. But what cracks me up is people that get a fast lap time on a track or something, they think they're just God or something like that. They think they're amazing, and then you go out there and smoke them in the main event. So that cracks me up more so than anything, because this game, the whole trick to this game is consistency. Obviously, you got to be fast, but I'm telling you, if you can get around the track and just hit the jumps right and you stay consistent, and I mean, you're not just putting around the track, you're going to do decent. But if you're wide open, wicked fast lap time, but you crash every lap, you're going to get smoked by everybody. That's just the way this game is. So, yeah, a little speed lesson there from the Spencer Turley, and obviously I'm not just the fastest person ever at this game, especially not on the 250. I'm quite slow on a 250, but yeah, man, I just wanted to try to explain it to you guys. Like, it's all in how much time you want to put into it and how bad you want it. I mean, a lot of people out there, they say, oh, I've been playing this game for 3 or 4 years and I'm still not that fast. It's just because they don't put enough consistent time. They'll play it one day and then wait a week and play it again. You're never going to get good like that. You got to play this game every single day and try different setups and try different techniques and try different stuff and different controller setups, and that's how you get good. You can't stay stagnant. You got to keep thinking, I think I can hit this jump better, I think I can hit this corner better. Even though it might seem impossible, you can't have a roof, man. Like I'm saying, there's levels to these bezels, and you can't let it get you, because a lot of times it'll just seem absolutely impossible. You'll think there's no way I can get that lap time, or there's just no way, and then all of a sudden you end up surprising yourself after like 5 months of playing the game, and you're at that level. So that's the way it is. But anyways, on to the track review. Sorry about that, guys. You guys know how I ramble on. The track's definitely pretty fun, like I said, pretty easy, but it just gave me that really special feeling like I was right on the side of a ocean, like a beach right beside an ocean. And it's not even really meant to be like that, because if you look off to the skybox, you can see there's just kind of pastures and grass and kind of mountains and stuff in the background. It's not really like an ocean off in the distance, but I'm telling you, just little things like the watercolor. And I know some of you guys are sitting there going, what, the watercolor, really, Spencer? But I'm telling you, it's all about those minute little details that you put in a track that makes it really get that vibe, dude. Like, whether it be the skybox or the ground decal, or very little things like just simple things like the watercolor. I mean, completely changes the way it feels, because if they would have had a really dark blue watercolor, then it would have felt just like I was in a woodland pond or something like that. It's the fact that it has that really aqua blue watercolor that it gives me the feeling like I'm right by an ocean, or I'm more on a Hawaii kind of place. That's kind of what's going on with it. And the fact that the skybox, it has some mountains in the background that kind of look like Hawaii mountains, and it has the kind of the hazy, rainy kind of sky going on. So it definitely gives you that Baja, Hawaii kind of feeling to it, or Fiji kind of feeling. So definitely cool. And the track it's fun, man. It's definitely just a chill sand track, not too deep or anything like that, but just a fun track. And I just always have to share those kind of tracks and make track reviews on them, the ones that give me those special feelings like I've not gotten from any other track before. And that's kind of what this track gives me. It just gives me that feeling like I'm on a beach right beside an ocean, and I've not really gotten that from any other track yet. So besides some of the tracks I've made kind of sort of have done that, but and that's another thing. If some of you guys have never checked out some of my old school custom tracks, I know how they can kind of get buried back in the pack, but I'll put up an annotation or something like that to let you guys go and click on it and go check out some of my really old school custom tracks, some of my old school track previews and stuff, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of really cool old school tracks that I've made, and they just kind of get buried back in the videos and stuff, and they don't really get that many views on them, because that's when I first started on YouTube and stuff. And the only place I actually release my tracks is on YouTube, so it's not like, it gets a bunch of views on the forums and goes crazy. It's strictly off of the YouTube views it gets. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to throw up that annotation to go check out some of my old school tracks and stuff. But you might have to bear with some of the old commentary, "Hi, what's up, guys? My name is Spencer Turley, and this is the track preview of..." Something like that. You might have to kind of put up with something like that, but still a lot of fun tracks. I can totally understand if you just want to cut off that audio on some of those old school tracks, but you got to remember that is a completely amateur YouTube maker there. Like, that was my very first time ever with a YouTube channel, and ever even speaking very much at all and doing anything like that. So it took me a while to learn it, but that's the cool thing, man. With anything in life, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And it's just that simple, man. A lot of people say they're born to do one thing, and I guess you can somewhat say that, but I really don't believe that. I feel like you're born with a certain passion for a certain thing, and if you choose to put in the amount of work it requires, then you can be that person. But I don't think it's just as simple as like, oh, somebody was born to ride a dirt bike or something like that. I feel like they were born with that certain genetic or that certain spirit, whatever you want to call it, brain power. I don't know how else to say it, to have that dedication to something. So what I'm saying is, you don't even have to be born into it or whatever. As long as you want to put the time in and you have the dedication for it, you can do anything. There's no limits. But the exception, I would say, is Travis Pastrana. I feel like he was doing backflips out of the womb, but that's one crazy dude. So anyways, so I'm going to give this track a 8 overall, just because it gives me that really cool feeling, and I'm going to say the difficulty is easy. So anyways, I appreciate all you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them.